Neighbors say they don't know anything about an early morning shooting that left one man in critical condition.
Here we are, 2016, and it's finally looking a little normal out there, feeling normal, but that won't last, of course. I'll track all of the change coming up for you.
The joy of a new year also brought jitters in parts of the world with fears of terror threats. Now at 4, how police in New York stopped an attack planned for New Year's Eve.
This is WKYT News at 4.
Good afternoon and Happy New Year. I'm Jennifer Palumbo. 2016 is off to a cold but sunny start. Here's a live look at Center Point in downtown Lexington, where it's a chilly afternoon. Meteorologist Jim Caldwell has a first look at the forecast. Hi, Jim.
And hello to you. And a chilly day out there for sure. But the thing about it is, we're about as close to normal as we can get for the first day of January. We look to the outside, you see that we have a few clouds showing up, a lot of blue, plenty of sunshine as well. But it is chilly out there with the temperatures coming in right now at 40 degrees. We're actually just barely below average for this time of year. Now, you throw in the westerly winds that are howling out there from time to time right now, coming in at 14, makes it feel like 32 degrees. So certainly a strong chill in the air for you. And not only here, all around us as well. You're looking at upper 30s and low 40s, pretty dominant throughout central and eastern Kentucky. Now, as we advance through the rest of the evening here, I think we'll be around 35 degrees as the sun starts to go down. And then overnight, we likely end up in the low and mid-20s. That'll wake you up in the morning as you head out on your Saturday for the first weekend of 2016. But some colder changes are coming. This is just the beginning. I will track those coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Jim. The new year is off to a violent start in Lexington. A man is fighting for his life after being shot. It happened just before 5:30 this morning on Roosevelt Boulevard. That's off Georgetown Street. So far, police have not made any arrests. Caitlin Sentner has the latest on the investigation in our top story at 4.
Tonight, police continue to investigate what led to shots fired on this street this morning, leaving a man in critical condition. The victim, a 28-year-old male whose identity has not been released, remains at UK Hospital. He was taken into emergency surgery after being found in critical condition in the 400 block of Roosevelt Boulevard on Lexington's north end. That was just after 5 o'clock this morning. Police received a call of a man suffering multiple gunshot wounds. When they arrived on scene, the 28-year-old was alive but not responding. Police say he was shot 2 to 3 times, once in the head and once in the chest. It's not clear why the victim was in front of the residence where he was shot. At this hour, police don't have a person of interest.
You know, right now we would just ask anybody that saw anything, heard anything, anybody on Roosevelt last night that might have seen this individual or seen someone out in any kind of argument, anything like that, that would be someone we'd want to call us and give us whatever information they have. Sometimes even a small piece of information would be exactly what we're looking for.
We knocked on doors and talked to some neighbors. They say they were sleeping at the time of the shooting this morning. In Lexington, Caitlin Sentner, WKYT.
Lexington police tell us they're going door to door in the neighborhood, hoping to get additional information to help them make an arrest. Investigators in Wayne County are convinced a man accused of stealing 32,000 rounds of ammunition had help. The Wayne County Sheriff's Office says Glenn Dixon stole the ammunition from the Lake Cumberland 4-H Educational Center. They suspect Dixon's son Josh was involved in the theft. Dixon told us there is no evidence pointing to him. Police say the ammo was used by young people at the camp in a gun safety training course. We'll have more on their investigation in our next half hour. Our reporters are working on a number of other stories for WKYT starting at 4:30. Amber Philpott is in the newsroom with some of the news in progress. Hi, Amber.
Good afternoon to you, Jennifer. A Central Kentucky mother is in jail after police say her children were found playing by a railroad track. Carla Martin was charged with endangering the welfare of a minor after her 2 young children were found in the middle of Kentucky Highway 300 at the Shelby Street Railroad crossing. Police say the 2- and 5-year-olds were barefoot and not dressed for a cold 37-degree morning. They also say Martin waited about an hour before calling police to report her children missing. The children have been removed from Martin's custody. We'll have the latest on this investigation on WKYT News at 5. And changes could be coming to the state's needle exchange program. The Fayette County Health Department is one of just 2 needle exchanges in the state. The other is in Louisville. Some questions from lawmakers have come up since the summer. One Kentucky lawmaker is talking to us. Coming up on WKYT News at 6, we talked to State Senator Whitney Westerfield on the change that he wants to see to this program. That is a look at some of the news in progress. Jennifer, back to you.
Thanks, Amber. Now to a story making headlines across the nation at 4. New Year's Eve celebrations around the world saw increased security measures as officials feared the threat of terrorism at a number of high-profile events. Steve Nannis has details, including one thwarted plot here on U.S. soil.
The world welcomed 2016 last night with a mixture of jubilation and jitters as security officials across the U.S. and the world prepared for potential violence that ultimately never came. In Rochester, New York, a terror plot was thwarted when officials arrested this man, Emmanuel Lutchman, alleging he attempted to provide material support to ISIS.
This person became a Muslim, we believe, in state prison, went out, became radicalized on the internet.
His goal, according to officials, was to attack revelers on New Year's Eve.
It's a little scary, but then I sat back and thought, you know, we have very good security staff. There's great police presence on the East Avenue, and you know, they really just trying to put the fear into us, and we're not going to let that happen.
Lutchman allegedly discussed using a bomb and kidnapping people with an undercover operative. In Europe, officials in Brussels took no chances, canceling New Year's Eve festivities after authorities undercovered plans for suicide attacks. And in Germany, police closed 2 train stations in Munich after learning of a threat connected to ISIS. German officials say there is no threat of an imminent attack in the coming days. Meanwhile, back in the U.S., extra security teams were deployed for the annual New Year's Rose Parade in Pasadena, California, as well as the Rose Bowl game.
If there is an unusual occurrence or an emergency, those teams will be immediately deployed.
In Washington, I'm Steve Nannis reporting.
Now that the party is over in Times Square, the cleanup is well underway. New York City sanitation crews are out in full force after the Big Apple welcomed in the new year. An estimated 1 million people turned out in Times Square to watch the Waterford crystal ball drop, while more than 6,000 New York City police officers kept watch over the festivities. Wall Street is closed for New Year's Day. Apple's shares finished 2015 down 4%, Apple's first down year since 2008. Shares lost about 1/5 of their value after reaching a high point of $134 in April. The declines have wiped out about $57 million in Apple's capitalization. Right now, Apple is worth about $590 billion. If you plan to attend college this year, you should begin filling out FAFSA forms today. That's because January 1st is the first day you can submit the nationwide college financial aid form. The sooner you do it, the better, because waiting can cause you to miss out on potential scholarships or grant money. Anyone hoping to receive financial aid, including federal or state grants, as well as scholarships from your state or school, must have the form submitted. Filling out your FAFSA form also helps determine how much you can borrow from the government, which is key in getting lower interest rates with federal loans. Media giant Viacom reporting weaker cable networks' profit figures for its latest fiscal year. Walt Disney and others acknowledged subscriber declines fueled worries that consumers are ditching cable for good and tapping the internet for their entertainment. Overall, the 7 big entertainment conglomerates were some $50 billion poorer last year because of changing cable trends. If your place is just a little too cramped, or if your apartment neighbors sound like a parade of elephants, you may want to consider moving, especially since analysts expect rent prices to soar this year. Mary Maloney has 4 reasons why 2016 may be the year to buy a house.
Got it?
Yep, got it.
Want-to-be home buyers? 2016 might just be your year. Here's why. 1, rock-bottom mortgage rates are on the way out. Interest rates are going up, and that's going to make new home loans more expensive. So 2016 could be a great chance to lock in the rate of a lifetime if rates keep rising. Number 2, expect home prices to rise more slowly. Prices have been soaring the past few years, but real estate tracker Zillow says you can expect home price tags to rise just about 3.5%. Those improving numbers will push more owners to list their homes, easing the inventory crunch, meaning there might be more homes available to buy in 2016. Bringing us to reason number 3, more new homes on the market next year. Builders are focused on starter and mid-range houses. And the final and perhaps best reason to buy a home, soaring rent prices. Rents just keep going up, becoming almost unaffordable in some markets. So that means in most places, buying is a much better bargain. To recap, 2016 can mean more options and fewer bidding wars for prospective home buyers. For Consumer Watch, I'm Mary Maloney.
Sorry, not sorry. A new Google Chrome app wants you to stop apologizing. The Just Not Sorry app helps people avoid using words and phrases in emails that can make them sound less confident or assertive. It works by underlining self-demeaning or qualifying words and phrases in red. Words and phrases that are flagged as sounding weak include things such as sorry, actually, and just. It was developed by a group of software developers to empower female leaders by communicating more confidently. It's time for better living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. New Year's Eve is famous for its celebrations, but sometimes a little too much partying can leave your body feeling not so celebratory in the morning. A registered dietitian at the Cleveland Clinic says there's not an actual cure for a hangover. Drinking more water and replacing lost electrolytes by drinking vitamin-enhanced water before you go to bed can help you in the morning. If you wake up feeling queasy, try to eat a bland diet of bananas, rice, applesauce, and toast. And of course, the best plan for your overall health is to watch your intake of alcohol so you can avoid overindulging in the first place. New government data shows deaths related to heart failure are on the rise after more than a decade of decline. The CDC says the uptick started in 2012. Heart failure is now a contributing cause in nearly 310,000 deaths a year. The rate was higher for men than women. Scientists have developed a gene editing technique that may one day stop the progression of a common form of muscular dystrophy. University of Texas researchers were able to correct the gene mutation that causes the disease in mice. DMD, the common form of muscular dystrophy, affects 1 in 5,000 boys and often leads to premature death. Uber gave its 1 billionth ride on Christmas Eve in London. The ride-sharing company started in San Francisco 5.5 years ago. The 1 billionth rider gets a year's worth of free Uber rides. The driver gets a free vacation to any Uber city of his choice. The U.S. Postal Service has unveiled its 2016 lineup of stamps. A highlight of the group is a set of 4 Star Trek stamps honoring the original TV show's 50th anniversary. The Star Trek stamps show classic icons, the USS Enterprise, the Starfleet insignia, a crew member being beamed up, and a Vulcan salute.